In this video, I want to walk you through how to upload Excel and CSV files into R. So I'm going to do this using Jupyter Notebook, but you can use the exact same code in RStudio if you need to do this in RStudio. To get started, we need to load in some packages that's going to be able to let us use functions to import this data in. So the main package we're going to upload is called Tidyverse. And so to import a package, we're just going to call the function library on the package Tidyverse, and this does not need to be in quotations. And so in Jupyter Notebook, we can just hit Shift Enter, and that will then run this code. So I'm going to hit Shift Enter, and now it's run this code. So what this gives us access to is functions that allow us to import in a CSV file. So I'm going to call that function now, and the function we're looking for is read.csv. And we put in our parentheses for that function, and then we need to put in the name of our file in quotations. So if your file is in the exact same folder as your notebook or your R script, you just need to put in the name of the file itself. If it is not, if it's in a different folder, then we need to give it the entire path so that it can find that. So in this case, this is in my folder. So you can see this is where I am currently at. This is the notebook that I have open, and these are the files I'm going to import in. So I'm going to import in COVID vaccines. Let's make sure is that plural or not. And you need the file type. So the entire path there. And now I can press Shift Enter. This is going to read in that file. It's going to read it in as a data frame, which is what we want it to be. And then it's going to show you your file here. And there's these dots along here to show you that there's rows that it's not showing. So I'm going to click over to the side just so that this becomes a little bit smaller. So now, how do we access this data? We've read it in, but there's no way for us to actually get at this data, right? Like we don't have anything to call. We can't call a row off of it or anything like that. So we need to set this to a variable. And the most common one is just to do df for data frame. And when I hit Shift Enter, now my table is going to go away because it's setting it to a variable. It's not just returning it. So now to be able to see my data frame, I have to put in df and Shift Enter. And now I can see this again. So I can call a specific column such as country code, and it'll just give me all of the answers from that column. So that's how to import in a CSV, and then you can do whatever you want to do with that CSV. Now, what happens if my CSV is in a different place? So what we need to do is understand what does the path look like to get to us, and then how do we manipulate that path to get to a different place. So what we can do to figure out where is our current place is we can say get WD, which is get working directory, and just have our parentheses for our function. So we can run that and we can say, oh, okay, this is where I'm currently at. So if I wanted to go to documents and in my documents there was a folder that was just data, then I would just copy all of this and replace that tutorials with data. But what I want to show you is I'm going to copy this again. Is that if we put all of this in there, it's going to give us the exact same thing. So if we do this, and then what you want to look at is what is the separator. So in this, it's reading the separator as a single forward slash. Sometimes it will read it as like 2 forward slashes or a backslash, depending on your operating system. So you need to still separate the working directory from the actual file with that same separator. So if I run this, it is going to now replace the DF, and it's going to give me the exact same thing. So that's how to get it if it's in a different file or if you just want to run the full path. So that is for CSV files. Now let's talk about Excel files. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna work with the exact same file, but you can see that here I have one that's an XLSX file and then one that's a CSV that we've been working with. So for the XLSX file for Excel files, we actually need a different library. Tidyverse doesn't have something that we can just call. So what we're going to do is we're going to do library readxl. just like that, and hit Shift Enter, and it's going to pull that. What that gives us access to is a read underscore, not period like before, Excel. And then we can put in the name that we had before. So COVID vaccines.xlsx and run. Now, importantly, this is giving us a tibble. And we don't really want this as a tibble. We want this as a data frame. So in order to be able to read this as a data frame, we need to then basically put it into a data frame. So we can do data.frame, and then we can highlight our previous and put it within parentheses. So now when we run that, we now get a data frame of this. So this is going to act the same as this would. So now we need to set this to a variable. So I'm going to set this to dfxl and run that. And so now to be able to call it, we're going to do dfxl. That shows us that. And if we want to do the same as we did before, country code, it's showing us that the exact same way as it did before. So that is the simple way to be able to import in Excel and CSV files into your R so that you can start working with your own data files. I hope this video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.